going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the More Than Love podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got my partner, Jay Bava, with me. What up, Jay?
What up, Terry? Looking to get into another good show tonight.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited. This is going to be our first episode where we're able to utilize our multi-camera recording. So this will be the first time our audience gets to see me and Jay on the screen at the same time. So I'm really excited to present a new visual to the audience. Tonight we're going to be talking about today's dating climate and all the different things that people need to consider when discussing dating or how dating is in 2019. But before we get into the topic of the night, we like to start off the show with a segment that we call Terry's Top 3, where we basically highlight 3 of the most interesting or controversial posts from my Instagram page at Terry Duran. But before we get into the segment of the night, I want to give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for providing the audio for us, the instrumentals and the beats that we use for the show. So shout out to them. And let's get into the topic tonight. Now, the first video that we're going to watch is a video that I came across on my timeline where it was showing a couple going through some counseling. Let's take a listen.
Me and Chris gotten back together.
What?
Yeah.
You seem to have made a decision that you want to be a different kind of man.
To be completely honest
Yeah.
with you, it's a whole lot easier than you think it is. Like juggling is what's hard. That's more of a hassle. It's honestly less expensive for me to be trying to go everywhere every night than to just provide for one person all the time. It's just less expensive that way. I don't have to hide anything. I'm not getting messages and trying to delete them before someone else sees, or I'm trying to end the night with someone before somebody else calls and see what I'm doing, and I don't have to do any of that.
I don't like that answer.
I know you don't, but
Tell me, why not?
It sounds like a convenience.
I can imagine that what you want to hear is that his love for you is so great that he is shelving
it's not
any
a Disney
interest
movie.
in other women and that whole lifestyle.
Yeah, that's what.
It's not a
that's,
Disney movie.
But I mean, I'm not gonna do this.
All right, now see this clip. I use this on my page as a teachable moment because it highlights a lot of the things that men struggle with or deal with when it comes to relationships and expressing how they really feel about things. All right, now so to just give some context, so clearly the guy lived a lifestyle in the past where he was cheating, being a thought, fucking other women, etc. And so now he's being asked about what it's like now that he's no longer doing those things, and his girl is penalizing him for it. And so it shows you that a lot of women will use their feelings and treat them as facts instead of listening to what a man actually said. So,
Right. But what's the thing is, he was being transparent. He wasn't hiding anything. He was saying, lifestyle he used to have before. So I don't see finally he's not doing it. He's not doing it now. He's saying,
right,
okay,
and you would think
that
that's
was
what.
in the past, and I changed that.
But that's what women tell us they want. Women will tell us that they want that, but then when you do it, he's giving a woman exactly what she wants. Change behavior.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Like that's the ultimate sign that somebody's trying to put effort into the relationship. He was cheating or whatever. He was not living up to the expectations of the relationship before, and now that he can have whatever perspective on it he wants. He can have whatever motivation he wants for it that he wants. And the reason that I say this is because there are a lot of women that place weight on things that don't really matter. And faithfulness is one of those things, right? It's an expectation of a relationship. For a lot of women, that's the ultimate sign of loyalty, etc. Where from a realistic perspective, that's not always the case. There are some men that are faithful because they can't get no pussy from nobody else. They're just not desirable for other women. And so that doesn't elevate him to some grand status because he's monogamous with one woman. You know what I mean? Like, so that perception.
With Terry before the express, hey, there are women here that do that past, and there's plenty of them that won't tell you, what they've done in their past.
Exactly. I mean, and so the thing that I have an issue with is okay, so the man named 3 different things. He talked about how he's saving money by going out less and not living that party go out to the club every night type of lifestyle.
Right.
He talked about the elimination of the stress and the paranoia that come when you doing dirty, you cheating, having to delete messages and having to hide, edit your call log and all the type of stuff that you have to do when you cheating. And then he talks about not having the pressure to try to smash a new chick or being paranoid about being seen by somebody else. So he named 3 different things that have improved by him making a change in his relationship. And instead of her appreciating that, she tells him, I don't like that answer. Like, that's what I be talking about when I say women expect men to answer how they want.
Do you rather him just lie?
That's what that they say.
Then if he lies, then you're like, oh, well, you're a liar. You try to deceive me.
Right. It puts a man in a position where he's not allowed to be honest. It contradicts with what women say they want from men. And so that's why I specifically use this video, because it shows a man he's not cheating. He's not doing anything. He's giving her what she wants out the relationship, and that's not good enough. You know what I mean?
He's clearly stating how he's grown from his past, maybe past relationships he had with women. You're getting transparency there. So I just don't see what else you would want out of this here.
Yeah, I mean,
it might not be what you want to hear per se, but it's what you need to hear.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the problem. Women can't say that they want honesty and they want to know how men really feel. That's the backlash that I get. I get backlash for expressing how, not all, but a lot of men think and feel the way that I portray. Because I don't have any motive to bullshit women. I don't, my integrity won't allow me to feed y'all fluffy bullshit. And so,
I mean, you don't really have no, you don't have no dog in the fight, no skin in the game here, because you have nothing to gain from it.
Right, you know what I'm saying? But
it's not like you're just out there just trying to look at here, just to get some ass here.
But a lot of men do, you know what I mean? And so
that's the point. That's the point I'm making. You have a lot of men that'll just tell you what you want to hear, especially on these Instagram pages or even podcasts, YouTube channels, whatever else they have. It'll tell women what they want to hear that feeds into what they want to hear. And like I said, just to get some ass here, or just to get validation from a female.
Well, it translates to other things as well: book sales, conferences, likes,
T-shirts,
follows, etc.
Coffee mugs, etc., etc.
So there's definitely a lot to benefit from doing that, and that kind of ties into the next post that we're going to talk about on my top 3. Now, this post didn't get a lot of reaction. These type of posts typically don't, but it addressed kind of our topic or our theme for tonight's show, and so. The post said, if all the women complain about changed their ways and instantly became men that are viewed as husband and father material, how would that help women if the ways that women think, behave, and approach dating conflict with these type of men? So I'm constantly talking to women and trying to get them to understand the things that they do that cause conflicts with quality men that are husband material, men that have their priorities together, men that effectively communicate, are not abusive, etc. So when I'm telling them the things that they do that conflict with those type of men in the way that they approach dating, a lot of women are unwilling to change. They're unwilling to listen to it. They're unwilling to even listen to that perspective on what men experience with women. And so they constantly revert to talking about what men should do different, talking about what men should change, talking about what men are doing wrong. And a lot of the people that give out advice do the exact same thing. They focus solely on what men do, praising women, telling them how great they are, empowering them, telling them, that they can have things their way, when none of that really helps women. It does not help them correct the things that are ultimately their biggest obstacles when it comes to dating.
I think what you have here is with a lot of women, not all women, but some women, they get stubborn, they get stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
I guess you can say sometimes out of just ego, well, I'm not changing. If he doesn't like the way it is, well, it's too bad.
Yeah, I mean,
this is what I do.
A lot of women do have that attitude, and ultimately they get what they said. You know, if he don't want it, he can, and most men will take the other options, other women, or choosing to stay single, etc. So to me, that's a bad perspective to have if your goal is to end up in a healthy long-term relationship. Like if you just want to be single and you cool with being single, that's totally different. But we'll get in. We'll kind of get into that a little bit more when we're addressing the topic of the night, which is going to be today's dating climate. So we'll address the different perspectives on dating. But I put that post up, and it doesn't get a lot of responses because women really can't explain it. You know, focusing on what men do what wrong. Yeah, those could be things that prevent those men from getting in healthy relationships, but it's not preventing them from getting consistent time, attention, and sex from women. And so and until something changes that, men are not motivated to change their approach to dating. They're not motivated to change the way they get sex.
But I mean, we can say for the women, you know, they'll still get attention and time from that. Let's just say they're at least somewhat attractive. They'll still get the same attention.
But that's not all they want.
The attention that you want.
It's not what they want, and so eventually that's going to lead to either disappointment or heartbreak if they end up falling for the guy or falling in love, etc.
Right, or just emotional baggage.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a big difference in how men and women are built and how they approach dating, and so trying to get women to understand that there are things that they're doing wrong. There are ways that they perceive men that are inaccurate. And they use those inaccurate perceptions or thoughts about men to come up with their strategies. Or that they'll try to use tactics that you have to use to deal with a fuckboy or a man that ain't got his shit together on a quality dude. And that creates a conflict. You can't handle a man that don't got shit. He ain't got no car, no job, no nothing. And try to handle him like a 6-figure entrepreneur. You can't date him with the same type of mentality. The same way a man is not going to treat a high school dropout thought with 4 kids like he's going to treat a woman that's an attorney that got her shit together. Yes, they might both like great dick and companionship,
and great
but he's going to have to alter and change things for depending on who he's dating. You know what I mean? All right, let's see. Let's move on to this last post. Now, this was a post that was sent to me. It said, dudes who think it's insulting to be friend zoned obviously don't know how it feels to be fuck zoned. Is the possibility of fucking really my only worth to you? Laughing my ass off. Learn how to be friends with people. Now, I think there's a very big difference between being in a friend zone where somebody is acknowledging that they only see you as platonic. I'm not interested in you sexually, for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be disappointing for anybody that is attracted to somebody or really likes somebody, male or female.
Right.
And so friend zoning is disappointing to anybody. But that is not the same thing as fuck zoning. I think most men would eagerly sign up to be fuck zoned by women. So that's not really something that you can complain about. And the way that this post is presented, it implies it's rooted in the assumption about just sex. Like men just want to fuck. Men just want sex. And that's usually not the case. Men enjoy female companionship, female interaction, going places with a woman. There are just certain things men don't want to do by themselves or with other men. And so when women get in romantic relationships with men, they often ignore everything that takes place between them and only focus on the sex. Which is why they'll say something like this chick did in this post, fuck zone, right? Where she's trying to compare a man who's disappointed at being told that there's no chance to a woman who's really disappointed at not being able to get the relationship. Because a woman that's fucking a dude goes out to eat with him, can go on different places with him unless she knowingly signs up to be a side chick or agrees to continue to do dates that she don't really want to do. You know, you'll hear women.
I think women have tend, like, from my, I see women tend to have a big problem being in the friend zone, especially if she's, you know, romantically interested or wants to pursue something longer term with them. Like, you know, when you say, I'm not interested. A lot of women don't have, you know, their reaction, you can see it, reaction looks like that's not what they want. And
yeah, I mean, well,
and there's a bunch, you know, they don't take that too well.
Well, yeah, it really depends on the woman's level of you know, her appearance and her track record with dating. You know, women that know they're not that attractive seem to handle a man not feeling the same way she feels a lot better than women that are never rejected or never told no, never been curved before. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So those type of women seem to have a really adverse reaction to not getting what they want out the relationship, a man not being interested in committing to them, especially if the dude's been willing to fuck her and spend time with her. A lot of women can't understand why that doesn't automatically equate to wanting to be in a relationship. You know what I mean? So, but we'll address that in depth a little bit later once we get into the topic of the night. We're about to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be addressing tonight's topic, today's dating climate. You're listening to the More Than Love podcast. Thanks for tuning in. All right, everybody, welcome back. You're listening to the More Than Love podcast. Tonight we are talking about today's dating climate. There are a lot of discussions and relationship advice, you know, trying to help people navigate the dating scene and get in healthy relationships. So I just wanted to kind of just have a discussion about dating in general. You know, I hear a lot of discussions about dating in 2019, and so many people feel like dating sucks and whatnot. And so I just wanted to address the topic as a whole. There are a lot of things that contribute to the dating climate that we have. A lot of it has to do with our attitudes towards the opposite sex, our attitudes towards having sex, and the way that our systems in America are set up when it comes to divorce and children, custody, paternity, etc. So all of these things kind of shape how men and women view the dating field or the dating arena, you know, for lack of a better term. So when you're talking about dating, you know, just dating in general, one of the most obvious reasons for the disconnect or the difference in how men and women handle dating is because supply and demand, right? There's an abundance of women that are looking to be in healthy relationships or want to be in committed relationships compared to the men that those women actually find attractive that want the same thing. Because there are a lot of dudes that want to be husbands and want to be with women. Unfortunately, a lot of those men are just undesired by women. So no matter, well, I ain't gonna say no matter what they do. They have ways they can get in the game, but those ways are usually surrounded around making a lot of money, getting really fit, or becoming really famous. Those are kind of the avenues that a guy has if he's unattractive to women to get himself in the game. And that's not going to be like a real authentic version of being desired by women because you're going to be getting used for money, etc. But it's better than being lonely and being alone for most people. All right, so I had a couple of things that, or just talking points that I wanted to talk about. The number of desired candidates is a really big deal. And because when I talk about this on my page, a lot of women take offense to it and feel the need to kind of try to clap back towards men, but it's not that at all. I'm just trying to provide an objective perspective of what the dating looks like, you know, like from an overhead blimp type of view. Somebody that don't really have a leg in a race because I'm already married, so I don't really benefit for describing it any way. But if you just observe what's going on in today's dating, you have a lot of men that are not interested in committed relationships for a variety of reasons. You know what I mean? Like, one it conflicts with their natural desire to sleep with multiple women, right? And then secondly, it's difficult to do. You actually have to make sacrifices to make a relationship work. You actually have to put up with stuff that you don't want to deal with. You actually have to go places and do things you may not necessarily want to do. And so for a lot of men, they prefer just being single and being able to do what they want with who they want.
And that's especially, that more so, applies from men, that's had success in relationships, or had successful women in general, that's used to getting, juggling multiple women, having a rotation of women that he deals with on a daily basis.
Yeah, it definitely.
So, it's hard to just give up and say, okay, I want to give this all up, to be with one person.
Yeah, I mean, because a man can love a woman and still be single and be living a bachelor lifestyle. That's why you have, phrases like a main chick. It may not be a committed relationship, but a man can have, like, a lot of people are that way with their baby mama or whatnot, where their relationship is more significant or more substantial than the other romantic relationships they may be involved with. You know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of people will look at that as him stringing her along or leading her on or whatnot. And I guess I can agree with that to a degree. If he's one of those guys that is making it where it's a problem for her to be single. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always talking about how I hate hypocrisy. And so a man that wants to be single and live a single lifestyle that has a problem with a woman living her single lifestyle, I take issue with that. So as long as...
definitely. You can't have it both ways there. I would say that, that's the classic example of one having a cake and eat it too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, part of the risk that comes with living a bachelor lifestyle is a woman that you really like or care about may end up with somebody else. She may find somebody that wants what she wants at the time that she wants it. You know what I mean? Because timing matters, and when it comes to dating.
Absolutely. I mean, I would say this too. It's not her. It's not her job or her responsibility to wait until you're ready to commit. If she finds somebody else, that matches what she's looking for, matches her interest, then hey, why not? By all means.
Yeah, but a lot of women, the way that they approach dating, they prevent themselves from doing that. Because when they like a guy or they care about one particular guy, what most women do is totally don't give attention to other guys. You know what I'm saying? Or not give them a chance that's really significant. They'll accept a number or give their number out, but they usually curve men for the guy that they either love or that they're fucking. And that's what you tend to see. Like, most guys don't operate that way. They can meet a new chick and show a lot of interest, have a lot of conversation to figure out if the interest is mutual and pursue making it a romantic relationship compared to a platonic one. So that's one of the biggest differences in how men and women approach things. Men that are bachelors that are successful with women are constantly looking to meet new women everywhere they go. Kind of like the video that we watched earlier, where the guy was describing the difference between a thought type lifestyle and a dude that's in a committed relationship. Now, another thing about today's dating that really seems to cause a lot of confusion is the whole concept of casual dating or casual sex. And so my definition of casual dating means everything is optional. You have the option to hang out with a person. You have the option to communicate with them. You have the option to go places. You have the option to have sex. You get to decide what you want to do with that particular person. You aren't obligated to do anything. You don't owe them anything. And you are free to casually date as many people as you want. A lot of women seem to struggle with that. You know what I mean? Like, because from what we observe, even when women say that they're okay with casual dating and they sign up for it and they go into it knowing what it is, most men experience that very early on in a dating situation, her perspective changes. Her attitude changes. Her level of questioning and expectation changes. And obviously that's part of that is natural when you go from platonic to actually fucking somebody, but it doesn't give you the ability to question them about what they're doing with other people. And that's the part of casual dating that creates all the tension and all the drama. You know what I mean? Because most people don't know how to handle it once they catch feelings or once they start desiring more. You know, I hear from a lot of women that they started it off wanting it to just be sex or just be a friends with benefit situation, but then they either got dickmatized or fell in love.
But sometimes when it turns into something more than what it was when you did it, that usually just happens, naturally. It wasn't like no one tried to force a situation where you have a lot of situations. Okay, you start out in a relationship, you start out, casually dating, or guy may be like, listen, I'm not looking for anything right now. I just want to, a no strings attached type of deal.
Yeah, I mean, well,
without saying that they're okay with it at first, and then a couple months later, they put the script as you was alluding to earlier.
Well, that it's okay. See, I just want to provide some clarity on that. It's okay for a person's feelings to change. Everybody's feelings change over time. It's how you handle that change and the expectations you place on it that determines whether it's going to be a problem or not. A man can tell a woman, look, let's just see what happens, or I'm not looking for a relationship, or whatever the case may be. And his interaction with her may make him feel, well, man, she's actually cool. I can actually see myself being with her. I actually prefer spending my time with her. Like, we're actually on the same level. And so his feelings towards being in a relationship with her can change. And so what you have to do in that situation is you just have to present your feelings. A lot of people don't want to take the risk of the person not feeling the same way, so they'll keep their feelings a secret and passive aggressively try to get the relationship. That's what you see a lot of women do. They don't want to be the first one to say that I love you or I want to be with you. They kind of want the historic where the man is courting them and pursuing them, and for a lot of women, they want the upper hand in the relationship. You know what I mean? Like, they want, we see memes that say, like, you love a man that loves you more and stuff like that. So there are women that seek to gain a position of leverage in a relationship with stuff like that. They want a man that a lot of times they'll choose a dude that is not as successful as other guys, but some women make that conscious decision to give them what they perceive to be an advantage in the relationship. Whether they believe that it's going to prevent them from getting their feelings hurt or anything like that, I don't exactly know what the motivation is, but I do know that there are women that employ that as a dating strategy. You know what I mean? And even as
I don't
ineffective as it may be.
That's effective.
Yeah.
An effective dating strategy. Yeah, you can do it. You might get into a relationship, but it might not be with whom you want or what you want out of that matter.
Right. Managing your expectations is a very big thing when it comes to dating. I don't think most men have an issue with that. Most men get a real quick sense of where they're at on the pecking order as far as desirability. They get a very clear idea of what caliber of woman they can date, what level of attractiveness, you know what I'm saying, etc. Like, so most men are not shocked or surprised by their dating pool. They've been dealing with the same level of women pretty much their whole lives. And smart men learn to work their jelly and work what their positives and maximize them when it comes to dating. That's how you can see men that are even fat and ugly and broke and all these type of things still are able to attract women. They figure out what works for them and they use it to the max. And men are even aware that all they have to do is lie or deceive a woman to get temporary affection and romance from her. So they do. Fuckboys are pretending to be quality men because they know most women can't tell the difference. That's their game plan. They can tell you what you want to hear to make you think that he's the one or Prince Charming or Mr. Perfect. But they do these things because most women don't have an effective enough dating strategy to where they vet men effectively. Most
yeah, and that's the thing with when people say, "Oh, the dating scene in 2019 sucks." I mean, you hear all these cliches that go around, especially on social media. Oh, it's not what it used to be. The dating age. I would say, the dating in 2019 is kind of what you make it.
Yeah, to me, I would think.
I think you have more of the tools and the resources.
I was just about to say that. I would think it's easier.
You have a plethora of dating apps out there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a person that actually has a realistic perspective on social media, like you're not in any of these extreme categories. You're not in MGTOW. You're not a hopeless romantic. You're not in none of these kind of extremes. You're somebody that's grounded in the middle. If you utilize technology and social media and everything the way they're supposed to be used, you can really do a good job of screening the people that you date before you invest a whole lot of time and energy into them. You can,
and not only that, with the internet now too, you can find social settings.
You can meet more people. Yeah, you can meet more people. You can find out about, like you said, more places to go, more things to do, more ways to interact. You can use FaceTime. You can engage with people in lots of different ways where you ain't got to waste your gas. You ain't got to drive over there. You ain't got to be like, there are things that you can do that can get you the information you need to know to figure out if you would enjoy spending time with somebody without you actually having to do it.
I think social settings you choose to go to, I think that's also important as well. If you're just going to, the local mall and you're just seeing all these stuff you do, etc. Here, you might need to change that social setting.
Yeah, I mean, where you meet somebody is not the most important thing. I think the conversation.
But if that's what if you're going to certain social settings and attract certain people, maybe you should.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if there's a negative pattern, obviously you want to make changes to it. But quality people can hang out anywhere. You can meet a dude that's husband and father material at the club. He could be there celebrating with his hood rat cousins or his hood thug friend. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like so.
You could be at Walmart for
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't really subscribe to things like you're not gonna meet a good man in the club. Like, how you figure that? I go to clubs. I'm a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can meet good men wherever. Good men go to restaurants, they go to amusement parks, they go to museums, they go to concerts, like they go to comedy shows, like anywhere that you would see other people socializing and interacting, you have the potential to meet somebody that you're compatible with and you are capable of building a relationship with. You know what I mean? Like, so
no question about it.
But like you said, you have to be utilizing technology, utilizing events, like event boards and the stuff on Facebook where they may have events, alumni this, a football game. You may have to go do some different type of events to see a different social crowd to give yourself some different opportunities. But to me, you have the opportunity to meet them anywhere, but obviously increasing your mobility and where you go and who you interact with and network with is going to increase your chances of doing it. So look like we are up against the clock. I want to shout out to everybody that tuned into the episode. Another shout out to Brother Soul Productions on the audio. Jay, man, I appreciate all the effort you put into helping us get the technology and the camera work straight.
You finally work through some technical difficulties and get this thing up and running.
Yeah, man, we took a lot of effort. So this has been another episode of the More Than Love podcast. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you share the videos. And those of you that are struggling with dating, I would strongly recommend you download my dating and compatibility guide. You can get it from my website, terryduran.com. It's only $1.50, and you can download it directly to your phone. It will stream.
And also, if you haven't already follow the More Than Love podcast Instagram page, go ahead and hit the follow button. And keep up to date with all the latest shows.
All right, man. That's another episode in the books, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all have a good day.
All right.